Hey, what's up, everyone? It's been a minute with all the holidays and all of that, so I'm glad to be back here live coding. It's been, I've been doing the tutorial videos, so those have been keeping me coding, keeping me busy. But I really enjoy the live stream code because it makes me think, it makes me work, and hopefully, people learn from it. That's what I've been hearing anyway. Which means we've got some learning to do today. But first, what I want to do is take a second to answer a question I got the other day about my function calls in my collections. So if I go to one of my collections, you may have noticed, and I know some of you at least have noticed, if I go to, I think my posts probably has it. It does. I have like this slug here. I understand it's probably a little small for anyone who's watching live or watching on this before I cut it into actual videos. Not much I can do about that right now, but yeah, I've got the slug there, and if I come down, I've got image here, and then I think that's all I've got in this one. So all these are, though, is just essentially importing in some components for collections. So let's go to the slug, and so this allows me to, instead of having this slug defined in every single collection, since I know I'm going to be using slug over and over again, I can just use this as a way to prevent myself from having to submit it a bunch of times. And so I can walk through each part of that here in just a second. And what it's doing is, some of this stuff, I'll be honest, I don't quite fully understand just yet. Still working through that, but here we have our slug type, which is going to accept a field to use for the slug, because we do have this format slug hook right here, which is just going to take the title of the post, or whatever the default here is title, but it could also be the name of the post or anything like that, and make the slug out of that. And so if I go into here, it's just a formatting hook where it's going to take the string that it takes in and replace any spaces and any don't actually know what this one does. Replace regardless, it just does kebab case essentially for all of my titles to put in as my slug instead of just a title string or something like that. So that is why I have these slug component and this image component. Here, it's even a little bit more simple. I've got a group called image, which actually, this might make more sense as something else, and actually maybe why I'm having so many issues with my front end types. So, but yeah, all this is just reusable components for my collections. So instead of having to continue to use the same stuff over and over again, I can just have one image, which I really want to change this now. It's going to break some stuff on the front end though, so maybe I won't, because we do have quite a few things that I want to knock out here. So I'm not exactly sure I want to spend any time changing this from a group to something like a collapsible or something like that. Let me think on it. So we're not going to do anything with it yet, but just to sum up for the people who have been asking about these, the image, the slug, I think I have in my blocks, where are the blocks that I have? Those are utilities. These blocks here, for each of these, I've got a header section. Again, it's just a reusable component, so that's all it is. It doesn't actually need the field to use. String here, it's not even defined, so I could get rid of this and everything would be fine. It just has an override and that's it. Yep, so that's it for that. So we will jump right in next to our, I'm going to leave this image up because I want to come back to that. Don't need globals, don't need format slug though. Don't need header section, and I'm cool with this being a group. Still thinking about that. All right, client logos, posts. This is where we need to be because we're going to be doing some post stuff. So we'll do this later. I do want to switch to resend, but we'll come back to that. But we need to add categories. So we're going to build a collection, and this is going to be a way for us to sort our posts and to filter them out. So this is the fun stuff. Let's build a new collection where we're going to do a new directory, and we're going to call this categories. And then I don't remember if I do index or config, so we're just going to do index. So I'm going to come here and do a new TypeScript file, index, add, and then just to make my life easier, add these over here, because why repeat myself when I can just do it there? So we're going to export a const called categories. It's a collection config with the slug of categories. And then I don't know why collection shows up there. Cool. Admin. And I know this is constructor. This is asking for a fields. I just want to get the error away. So there's that. We'll come back to that in just a second. Not admin. Well, I can put this in a group, which we'll call, what groups do we have? Where do I have addresses? Not really where that needs to go though. Admin. I mean, meta makes sense. Oh, I already have a categories. Well, I guess what we'll do is just let's just copy that. So we're going to come in here and do our delete this category because I'm not going to have any categories anyway. I honestly had no idea that I had this built. So let's go ahead and delete this one because we want to do this in the new way anyway. So we're going to take these, put them into the admin. So we're going to be using the title field as the title of each category, and this is going to be put into the content meta group on the payload side. So we're going to need all of this, which we may, if we go to our config, I'm just thinking about our SEO plugin. We go here and then come down to our plugin. Do I add this stuff already? I don't think I do. Do I even have any plugins here? I must. Yeah, there we go, SEO plugin. All right, perfect. So we've got our storage plugin in up there too. So what we'll do, all right, cool. And that's our forms plugin. All right, so we will still put this in because we do have in our posts collection some, or I guess pages. We'll go to posts because that's going to be more similar. Posts, we have our SEO stuff down deep here. So a couple things need to happen. We'll bring this out, go over to our categories, and we're going to take this meta tab, and then we need to come here and do, first we need our name, title, type text, required true, and then here we'll have our, I need a tab field first. So we can do type tabs, and then we've got our meta, and then we will have our content, which is just going to have, well, I guess slug actually needs to come out as well below title. Don't need categories. We'll keep our access here. Cut that. Oh, I need to import slug. I'm coming. I need to import all of these things too. Okay. We have our title, we have our text tab, we need our content tab. Which I think is everything after that. So I'm sure I grabbed the object. I did. All right, so we need to import a few things here. Lexical editor being one of them. Then we need that to be done. We can get rid of all of this. And then we have our meta, we have our content, and I don't need a hero for this, so I think we're all set. And we've got our lexical editor, which has our default features. And so this will be for anything that we want to do, like a like if you want to do a individual category page, we could do that. But we'll worry about that later. So our categories collection is done. So we'll just do payload generate types. Perfect. So our category collection is done. So let's go ahead and add categories to each of our posts. So we're going to spin up our server. Then go over to our local host, admin login. Let that load up. And then, is this the right one? No, it's our test one. So, or I guess dev test, it's all the same. Okay, we're not going to change that password. We're not going to change the password. All right, so let's go to our posts. And we've got a couple posts here. So we're just going to go into each one. We're going to add some new categories. So first, we'll just do category 1. That's all I really want to do for this one. At least for now. And then we'll duplicate it. Okay, we won't duplicate it. Then we'll do first. Okay, so I don't know why it won't let me duplicate there. We could actually do this a different way. Leave anyway. Go to categories, and then let's create new category 2. Okay, so yeah, it won't let me duplicate. No biggie. Then we'll do category 3. And then we'll add one more, even though we have more than this in posts, but category 4. Go to our categories. So that's all done. We can then come back to our posts. And then I think test is the only one that's not open. So we'll put you as category 1 only. Then we'll do you as, geez, I forgot I did a little bit more damage on that one. So we'll do category 2 and 1, but we'll make it that way. So then we'll do category 4. This one will be category 2 and 4. This one will be, let's do all the categories. Oops. import, save. And then this one is on the SEO tab. So then we can go over here to category and just do category 2. All right, so everything has been assigned a category. So next step is, if we want, we can create in our category. This is different. We want to do in our categories, we'll do this in our tabs. Will we do this in our tabs? I think we'll do it. I'm thinking about a join field. I think we'll do it underneath. Underneath the tabs, because it's not really a content, but we could also create a new tab. Let's see what this is going to do. So after our meta, we'll come here and we'll do name related docs, do label of related docs. I hesitate to do this. Well, it'll stay organized, so it may not be something that can be changed manually, but it'll at least be easy to find. So then we'll do fields, and we'll just do a join field. So do name related docs. And then we'll do type, not rich text. We're going to do join. And then we're going to do on our, so I know collection is going to be posts. So let's do that. And then we're going to do on our content dot, I think it's category. Content. Yep, category. Okay. So then we do this. Hit save, see what breaks. Nothing. Great. All right. So now that's perfect. So this should include all of our different categories. Can I take a look and see what categories are included? Content. Well, I don't think it really matters. Okay. But maybe category and author should not be in content. But it's a tab, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, no biggie. So what we'll do then is we've got our join field, and we can come over to our posts, which I believe is this. I don't actually believe it is this. So let's go up, and then we're going to go to our individual blog posts. We're going to come all the way down here. So we're going to do const, and then we're going to query. I don't actually know if we need to do this. We'll see. All right, so we've got const. We'll do our query category, and we'll hit our cache, async slug, where slug, but that's not what I'm going to do. So we're going to do category. Which is just going to be a where query anyway. All right, so then we'll do our payload. We'll await payload. And then here we're going to find our category collection where category. This is wrong, it should be categories. And then we're going to limit it to just one category for now. Override access is true. Depth we'll keep as 1. And so what this is going to do is it's going to query the categories, and we want to include joins. And so I'm setting this to true. Do I need to set this to true? So it can only be false or, so let's do joins, and then we'll just limit it. Oops. We'll limit it to 3 documents. Oh, sorry. I need to do related docs. So I don't love that. So we need to string that up. And then we'll do a limit. So I'm thinking then, do we need to make sure that our related docs are not... Oh, I don't need to... It can be a named tab, but I don't want it to be... Yes, okay. I'm sorry, I'm talking faster than my... I'm thinking faster than my mouth is moving. So what I want to do is, instead of making this a named tab, I'm just going to label it, which should be all I need to do here. So if I save this, it's going to change a few things, but if I come back over, I think I need to generate types again. So I'm going to do that. And I just want the tab to be there by label only. I don't necessarily want it to be a way of grouping or being a shared property between things. So now we should be able to go here and do joins, and we're going to do our related docs. Should be good. And then we're going to limit it to, we'll say 3. And then I don't want to do where. I'm trying to remember what the other sorts. Yeah, we can sort though by date. Perfect. So we do that, and now we've got our query category thing done, and we're going to then, if we have a blog post, we do want to see then if blog dot content dot category, then we want to, we'll do const category equals post. All right, it's blog content dot category or a string. So I think I need to also go one step further and do our blog dot content dot category. Oop, I need to do type of. So this is going to be a type check. So type of all of that does not equal string, and all of that. And then we want to take our category dot slug is what I want. So I don't know why though. Oops. Why slug isn't something that does not exist. Dot category. All right, let's take a look at our post again. Any moment now. All right, posts. And then we come here to our test. We go to API. Just make sure that the blog is our response. And then we come down, we've got our content, we've got authors. Oh, category is an array. So what we can actually do is return an array. So we'll do map, and we'll just take our slug and return slug. Or an empty array. So something's broken here, of course. I think it's that this needs to be in parentheses as well. Slug does not exist. All right, fine. We'll do here. I'm getting a little cross-eyed now. All right, so category. category dot. So we do type of category does not equal string. There we go. So that should return, I don't know why that got, does that need to be there? I don't think so. All right, so now we've got our category, which is going to return an array. And so what we want to do is, instead of equals in our where query that we're going to write, which will be our const category query, we're going to set this to be category or slug. I believe I can do contains category. So hello there. Thanks for joining in as I try to wrap my head around what I'm trying to do. All right, so we have our contains here, which should be a way for us to use an array in a where query. So we should be good there. So now we're going to, we have query categories. So what we'll do is we'll get our category array up here, category array here, and then we'll do our category is going to be category where query. Then this is our actually, so category query get category, which is what we're going to do here as we do await get payload. Nope. Await payload. Why do I keep doing this? We're just awaiting our category query, which is wrong. It's query category. Query category, which I don't actually think we're awaiting. We are. Okay. So now we're going to do category is going to be our category query. And this is a where query, so that should work. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to log get category. And we'll see what happens here. This is always the joy. All right, so we're going to go to our local host. We'll go to our blog. Nothing should break yet, but if we go to our most recent post, formatted value replaces not a function. All right, so blog slug. Formatted value replace is not a function. Why though? So it's blog slug page blog future blog. I don't understand what that means. If I go to blog test, so where do I have a replace? So I wonder if the problem is our query. Oh, here. Formatted value if operator exists. So contains may not be the right local API. Whoops. Local API payload. There we go. Okay. So I'm looking for what I'm able to use in my local API. So where's my querying? Querying your documents. It should be contains the value entered. Case instead of a string. Where's an array? In. So let's try in and see if that works. There we go. All right, so now we should get something, but we get undefined. So Slug is in category array. So what we're going to do is just print or log our category array. See what we get in there. We get test. So let's do then okay, so it's taking the slug of our blog post. Okay, so what's happening here? So instead of getting our blog.content.category, so let's take a look at what that brings back. We get an array of objects. So, all right, so first let's go back down here because this is going to be something else that I wanted to check. Is if I want to use select, I would just like to select the slug and the title. So now, if I refresh that, I should only get slug and title back, but I don't. Oh, I'm not returning anything. Okay, so if I return result, I'm not sure if anything else is going to change, but all right, so now we're getting no documents returned because right now our slug that's coming through, so category, but slug is a part of category, so we can do content.category, which is what I just had, brain breaking. So we have our category array. So let's get that out of the way real quick. So it's getting test. Test is not what I want. So let's see, type of category does not equal string, return slug. So, oh, I'm a dummy. Category slug. Slug is a constant above. So now I've got category 4. Perfect. So now let's comment that out, add category back in, and now I see my category doc coming back. But I don't really want the category doc coming back in. I want the join field that comes from that category doc. So we're going to come here, get our related docs, and set that to true, which then should give me a join field right there. So now we can, in our related docs, I wonder, can I do select here? I don't think I can. That's fine. All right, so we can take our related docs back and then do up here, we're going to just so we can see everything coming through, we have get category, which now is going to have limit. Oh, docs. All right, so docs, and then we're going to map through that, and we're just going to grab the related docs. So related docs. Okay, I'm doing that wrong. So we'll do related docs. And then for those, we'll do related docs.docs.map. And then we're going to return our title for each one. Which I think this needs to be an open expression or not. All right, well, let's just see what we get from here. So we're going to just return related docs. So we see here our docs. So here we're going to, again, try to map. I guess the problem is this. Okay. And then we'll do our related. Nope, we'll do our map. Here we'll do our title, return title. Okay. We'll just do doc index. Ooh, can't type. And then we'll do doc dot. Is it not title? Let's see what we get. Doc. I've not worked with the join field quite like this, so this is a new one for me. So I get an array of objects, which makes sense. So then we can do doc.id, which should return all of the IDs. It does. Perfect. Okay, so this is going to be fun. No biggie. Okay, so let's find a place for these. So we'll come under here, under all of the content, and we're going to add in some of our cards as like related documents. So if I come down to below my serialized lexical here, we can add a new section, which we're going to call our related posts. And in here, we will then take our, I should just do get category. So then we've got const categories, or I guess related post makes sense. Related post equals get category dot docs. So we're going to map through all of those docs now. So down here, we're going to have a new div, and then we're going to do our related posts and related posts. Yeah, you know, that makes sense. But we do want to actually put this above this section. So, because if that doesn't exist, then we don't have anything. So let's do this instead. And let wrap around all of this section. Do I not need the parentheses? Oh wait, no, the parentheses here is probably from this issue. Okay, no. Oh, I need to do that. There we go. So now we can take our related docs, or related posts, is that what we called them? Related posts. Related posts, and we're going to map our related post. So each one is going to be its own card. So I should be able to do... So this is going to give me an array of docs. So we should be able to do what we need to do here. So first we're going to look at our blog index page real quick, because I do have a component for this. I don't have a component for this. So now we see that we have use for a component. So we're going to take all of our recent posts and create a component out of this. Come down to our components, and we're going to have new, just make sure I don't have a card. Okay. Do a new directory and call it post card. And then we're going to add a new file that we'll just call post, or no, index. That's what that'll be called, .tsx. Add that, and then come here and add a new style sheet, index.module. Add that, and we come back up to our page here, and we're going to, starting here, so we've got our recent posts that are going to be in there. So we're going to take all of this div, we're going to copy that into our index first we're going to export a new function called postcard. Open that up, and then we're going to have this accept a cards. And so we're going to have interface postcard props. That works for me. Postcard props, which are going to include first going to have our ID, ID of string. Then we're going to have our, let's return this. So ID string. Then we're going to have our slug, which is also a string. Then we're going to have our image, which is going to include a file name, which will be a string. Then we'll have width, which is going to be a number. Then height number. Alt description is string, which I believe can be optional. And then we're going to have a creator, in which we will have, or I guess it would be credit. We have got credit, and then we're going to get a creator, which is going to be a string. This is going to be optional. Then we'll have a creator link, and then creator type. Perfect. So then we're going to remove the map here. So we'll have this just be card, which is going to be postcard props. And then each, which actually then means that this needs to be brought back out, which we can just erase it. So get rid of that div. Then we're going to get rid of all of this. Okay. Oops. Do that. Okay, well, whatever. All right, so now the other parts that we need. So this is going to be now just ID. This is going to be slug. Oops. Stop it. Oh, card. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, then we're going to have all of this is going to be back up at the higher level. So we'll do card.image.file name. And then just do all of that for the rest of this here. Oops. Copy. Width. Then do a height. Do alt description. Then here we're gonna do card.image.credit.creator. Since this is optional, do that. And then let's copy and paste all of this. And here I thought just making this component would be super easy, but of course not. Creator link. And then we've got creator type. So for these, we can also just do or nothing. All right, so that's all of that. Then we've got our card title, which we need to add here. So title string. Then we're going to have our author, which is going to be type of user. And then we can do card.authors, card.author. Do I need to do this as an array? We'll see here in a second. Card.author. So I may have to do the type check at the higher level, but that's okay. And then we're going to have a date, which will be a date or will allow a string. And we can do card date. All right, so that's a lot of work just to get to where we are now. Perfect. So let's come up a level to our, this is going to break. So let's go back to our blog. No, wrong page. This one. No, this one. All right, so now instead of all of this stuff, we're going to pass in a post card, and then card is going to be post. And what's missing? So here, let's do post, and then allow it to man, where am I? Here. So we'll do post instead, and then all of this card stuff, not that one. Change card dot to post dot, which is what I should have done in the first place. Place all, and then author is going to be, should be authors probably. Property card is missing in type, but I updated that just now. Property post is missing in type. So now, we just do post. Wrong. All of it's wrong. Okay, so let's do post. There we go. Well, that, let the pass. Post is missing in type. All right, so instead of all that, let's just do oh boy. I love TypeScript. I love it so much. So instead of all of that, let's just do I think this is the problem here. Postcard is now, all right, so here we've got title, We've got ID, we've got date, we've got slug, we've got image, we've got author, and we've got key that we need to put in as post ID. Then we've got post title, again post.id, should be post.date or an empty string. Then we've got post.slug, which should be non-null, which is what that type assertion is there for. Let's go ahead and get this down to a lower level so we can see again. All right, then we've got post.image, type of post. Does not equal string. Post.image. Post.content. Ugh. I cannot type post.content.image. And we'll come back to that just a second because I think I'm going to have to do more than that. Unless, nope. So let's just, I'm going to have to do more with this too. Okay. And then here we'll pass in an array of name. Let's do author, type of author does not equal string, and author dot name. I'm sure I'm gonna have to adjust a lot of stuff that I'm working on with this component, which is not really what I wanted to be doing, but here we are. So let's do type of, oh, it's content, post dot content dot authors. Oh, shoot. There we go. I'm still going to have to figure that out. And then we've got our key, image. So instead of doing let's take, ooh, lots of undoing here. Because I'm going to need all this, so it makes sense to just take all this out and take it back with me. So we're going to take all of that and then re-fast forward through all of that. And then instead of having this image here, wait a second. There's no image type. So oh, my brain is breaking. Where then? Okay, so I'm over here. No, here. So yeah, I didn't think that that was going to work. Unless... Okay, didn't think so. So let's just paste all of that in there. Because image does not even exist on this type anymore. Now, if I do that, our images are back. Perfect. And then we've got our author, which I just want to pass in an array of names. Let's think about that real quick. Well, let's see what this is doing. So, do I just need to change this type to be a question mark? Type string undefined. So it needs to be an array of users, which means that this just needs to be the map. Post author, so it's taking from authors. Oh, there's that. Okay. So the type is still not quite there though. So maybe I just do a type check. Type of post.content.authors does not equal string. I mean, the author's there, so we'll leave it as it is now. It's not assignable to type user or undefined. Type boolean is not assignable to type user array. The expected type comes from property. And creator here. Credit creator. Oh, can I get rid of... Get rid of this. That should fix that. Okay, and then author is the only other one that I'm getting a type error on. I don't really know why. So here, if we look, type false, which means that this doesn't really need to be here. All right, we're going to deal with that for a while. We can come back and fix it later. But I see the authors, I see the posts. All of that was just to come here. And let's just do ts ignore just so it's gone for now. Now we can come here and do our postcard. Do slug, do date, title, ID, width, creator. The problem is, so like I know that there is an easier way to do this because I've done it. post.id. Like all of this image stuff should just be a simple passing in of the image object I have. But for some reason it's just not. And yes, I know that's a skill issue, and that's okay. Post.slug. So if I'm understanding this data right, this should be exactly what I'm looking for. But I don't think I'm understanding this data right. So if I get rid of all of this real quick, I've got related posts there. Make sure I'm not getting an error anywhere. So if I log these related posts, I think I'm going to get an array of objects. Okay. Yep, so we want the related posts, and it's going to come back for each category. So that's what's happening there. So, so do we flatten the array so that it comes back as just one single array of objects instead of just categories? Yes, we do. Because, so what's happening here, if I come back to our blog and go to something that has more categories, which is not this one. One of these has a lot of categories. Category 4. Maybe not. So this is only taking in one of the categories, which is not the end of the world. So we've got category, let's go, let's take a look. So we have our, this just takes category 1. So let's add category 3 and then go to test copy. Just not this one. It's also not active. Okay, so let's add a date to this one. We can do today's date, that's fine. Let it show up. Did I not add an image to this one? I did not. Choose from existing. Sure, let's just use something else. Probably not a great image, but that's okay. Come here. And now when that opens up, I only see the one category. Okay, so I am querying this wrong because I want all categories to come back for this post. So let's see what's going on. Make sure the query is good. Okay. So here, slug in. Well, okay, so if we go back to logging our category array, what do we get? Category 1 and 3. So contains is not what I'm looking for. Go back here. The value must contain, exists, near, within. It's a point, intersect with point field. So the value must be found within the provided comma delimited list of values. Must contain the value entered, case insensitive. So in should be working. where I'm returning more than just the one category. So that tells me if we go to our get category, which is going to do where slug, where am I? Okay, so we're going to then get anything in this category array, and then related posts. So let's see what happens. I know something is going to break. Yes, I am from the other side. Thank you for asking. Docs. Oh, I'm limiting one. Duh. So we don't want to limit. There we go. All right, so now I should be getting all the categories. Ugh. So now we have an array of, well, we have an object. So we need to map all of the related docs into, there's a lot of arrays going on here. So we really just want to flatten all of these. Okay, so we don't need category array anymore. And then we're going to take our related posts, which is what we have here. And then we're going to map those again. And we're going to do our array. And we're going to do an array.map related docs.map. Then we're going to do related doc to related doc dot. Let's see what this gets us actually. So related doc. That's right, docs. Then related doc. See what this gets us. An array of an array of an array of objects. Okay. So just to make this a little bit easier for me to read, don't like that. Let's just do docs. Ugh. So now we've got our related docs all in a two-dimensional, I guess it's three, I don't know how many dimensions that array is. But then we've got how many blog posts here. So test2. Here, I need to clear my console. There we go. Test2, test copy, test2. Future blog. Okay, this is a long way to do what I'm actually trying to do. So now we want to take that I'm also noticing some duplicates here as well. So test2 is in here because it's in the same categories twice. Is it in here twice? It is. All right. So now let's how to deduplicate list in JavaScript. I'm really looking for an array. Oh, I don't want to do all that. But I think this is going to do everything that we need to do. Let's give it a shot, shall we? This is what coding is all about, right? Experimenting with random code from Stack Overflow. And of course it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm definitely overcomplicating all of this. So what we're going to do instead is what am I going to do? So right now, though, all we're going to do is we're going to get our related posts, which is how this is now, where we've got an array of objects. We're going to get some cards up, and we're just going to use the first 3. But the problem is that the first 3 are not in the same array. So what we're going to do is category, we'll just do cat array. Let's do const. We'll do let cat array, and then we're going to take all of these. Let's call this const post array. Get rid of all of this, get rid of that. And then we'll do post array. For each post, we will cat array dot push post. And then let's log our cat array. Oh, wait, post array push. Oh boy. I'm definitely trying too hard, aren't I, guys? Yes, I am. Alright, so the better option here is just to oversimplify everything and just do single categories for right now, and then add complication later. So we are just going to take the first category. So we're not going to remove any functionality. We're just going to take the first category here. So now if we do this, we should get a single array of related posts, or a category, then related docs, which is then going to return more docs, which should get me my category. I assume this is 2. We'll see in a bit. All right, so we've got our docs here. So related posts, get category docs, related docs, docs. Long way to do all of that. Then we can come down here. We've got our related posts. Just because I want to move on is really all this is. So we've got a related post. Okay. So what do we got going on? Okay, so let's log our related posts again. And we're going to get, oops. Yeah, this should just be working now. All right, so let's come down here. We've got our related posts. And if we map these related posts, related post. So I guess type of related post does not equal string. That was unnecessary. So then I should just be able to do related post.slug. Yes, and then this has to be a non-null value, so we'll go ahead and hit that type assertion there. I guess that doesn't work this time. Great. All right. And so if we also do type of related post does not equal string, I don't think we need great. Okay, let's get rid of that. And then do, instead of wrong, do this. If type of does not equal string, is this not how this works? I thought this is how it worked. Dang, man. Yeah, because that should just be an expression, right? Do I have to return the card then? Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Oh, you guys are really watching me struggle today. All right, so now I shouldn't have to add this type check. So I can do related post.date or empty string. Title or empty string. Related post ID, that's required. So related post width, post creator, which this should be content.image.creator. Credit, I guess. Okay, I guess I have to do a type check for all of this too. But I should be able to do this here. Just copy all of this. Not author. Grab all of that and then get rid of this. And then all of this post stuff, smarter not harder, should be related post. Place all. So that should be fine now. And then we're going to need to take our author and do related post dot content dot authors. And then get rid of ts ignore. All right. So we got our related post showing up here and only in we don't have the image showing. For some reason. Images. And I think it's because if I go to postcard, go to image object, No, yeah, the file name should be fine there. Post. Oh, weird. Let's get rid of upstream image response failed for. Okay. So all of those should be fine. Test and test 2 should be okay. But let's go back to the blog. Just check a different one. Okay, so we have those 3, but we also need to... yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I had a card component, so up over here. So I had these components here that I wanted to use as reusable components in my related posts for my individual blog post. So that's a quick catch up for where we are now. But now I'm not getting images here doing anything. But the links are working, so I know that stuff is there. And it looks like there's just an image response failed for that. So if we come over here to our postcard, let's log our post and see what we get. I'm getting nothing for the file name. So why is that? I think it must be a depth thing. So let's go and test that theory. Here in my recent posts. No, here in my actual posts. We've got our postcard there. And so if I want to log my related post, I can do that. Yep, it is a depth issue. So if I come down and I'm going to query the category, let's query at toDepth. See if that's enough. Okay, no, maybe 3. 3 seems excessive though. Image, okay. So let's just try restarting. First, let's generate types. That shouldn't matter, but do that. 3 does seem just excessive for depth, and I don't think that is the issue now that I'm thinking about it. But we'll try it out. We'll let it see. So if I look at our image, it still just gives me the ID. So it's definitely not a depth issue. Or maybe it is. So we've got our query category. Related docs. Well, just in case, let's set it to 10, which is just massively excessive. Okay. So it's not a depth issue, but I will be right back. Okay, I just had a thought, and I'm clearly, definitely just overthinking this. So I don't need to query the category. So I'm just getting a bunch of layers of stuff that I don't actually need. So if I'm just trying to get related posts, I just need to use the categories from the blogs. So I've got my category array up there. So instead of doing our category query, so we're going to use our category query still, but I just need to do const related posts, which is going to equal our query blog. And then I have to await this first. So if we await this and then query blog and then just do slug category query, and then come down here because I have a bunch of stuff. So first we're gonna, so it's limiting one again. So I need to make sure that I don't do that. So let's do limit as that. You do limit and then do limit as a number. And we can set limit to be default 1. So now, if I refresh, nothing should change really, except that this is still broken. But now I need to set this limit to be 3. Thought limit 1. Oh, it's because it's required. That's fine. I'll say it explicitly. That's cool. So let's do limit 1. So now we've got our category array, and we should have our related posts, which we're going to log so we can just see it. Oh. So we need to find our categories, and so I think it needs to be content categories slug. Not categories. I think it's just category. There we go. All right, so we're getting there. Everybody, we're making it. So what I just did is this is how you query nested fields within our, so we're querying nested information from our schema. So now we have content.category.slug, which then takes in all of the array and is going to return all of the, well, 3 documents, because that's what I set, that match the categories. So I'm just going to check a contains again. Okay, so that doesn't work like I think it does. So now we've got our related posts. And now here we need related posts .docs. Then if I refresh, there we go. We've got our related docs right there. So what we need to do though is that we need to create a container, which we have here in the card row, because why? I mean, they're going to be full screen cards, but I don't know why they don't have their background color. So let's go up here. This is the problem. It's there. Oh, I need to limit 1. Okay, that clears that error. We come here. Then okay, so we've got our blog. I'm looking for postcard, which is right here. And then we've got our classes there, but those need to move. So let's go to that and find, we're going to need all of this. And then we're going to take all of our recent posts, minus a couple things, because we don't need, we'll leave card image in there. We don't need card row or recent posts, I don't think. Set this to be index.module. All right, so now we should have a background color for our card. I can get rid of that console log. I think. Console dot. Okay. Get rid of you. And then I think I've got you there. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we've got these cards set up, but for some reason not getting the background color. So let's take a look at that. Related posts is fine. That's what I want. So here. Card. Background color's there. And should be working. Love that. Okay. So we'll come back to that in just a second. I think the problem here is I shouldn't need any of this here. And we're going to make sure of that first by going back to the blog. Yep, all that still looks good. So now the next step is getting this in a container. All right, have I done anything for my to-do list? Query-related blogs. All right, we're getting there. We have done some select and populate, so that's good. I guess, kind of. All right, so this is our individual blog page. Don't need index here, that's unused. And then oh. All right, so we don't need that anymore. Which means I also can do this, and instead of return, I just learned something new, but that's why I do this, so all good. All right, so next we need this to be the container. So let's find our postcard, and then we've got our card row. So we'll do a new file that we'll call card row.tsx, add. So here we could actually, let's do card row, drop you in here, refactor, rename, card row, no wait, sorry, index, and then we're going to need a new style sheet, index.module, add, and then we're going to add a new directory, call it card, drop you in here, and then drop you in here. Hopefully I can just, yep, perfect. Oh. Oh wait, no, this is outside. Okay, so then we can create in our postcard file, which we'll do index.ts, and we can do export postcard from card, export card row, which we don't have yet, from card row. All right, so that we're going to make now. So we'll have export const card row. We're going to do a function, export function card row. And this is just going to have children, which will be children react.react node. We're going to return this. And you are going to children there. And then here we'll do our index.module.cscss. And in our card row, come here and take out our card row. So this is not exactly how I wanted to spend this time, but here we are, making it, doing our best. So now we can do card row. Okay, so why didn't any of that stuff take effect? All right, but first let's go back to our blog page and replace this with card row. Make sure that that works still as intended. It does indeed. So that's a good sign. Then we can go into our featured blog, and now it works. Okay, I just needed, I guess, to reset the cache. So we're good here. So now we've got our related posts inside our, that's gross, I need to fix that. Inside our, this thing, our individual post. Okay, so we'll fix the author. Let's see if we can do it real quickly because it's going to fix a few things. Yes, okay, so we can do author index array. So then in our author, we can do author name. Here I think we need to do, bam, no, inside here. Oh, we can do, so array dot length is less than index plus 1. And I believe I'm doing this the right way. If not, we can just flip it. Oops. Okay, so let's switch this back to greater than, and then flip these. There we go. You can go there, then we can delete you. And so I'm just trying to get this so that the comma falls into the right place, which it does there. And then we can add a space. And there we go. So now we've got a nice formatted authors array there as well. All right, so now we go back to blog. We're good here. This looks wrong. I think it's because I brought out my date. So let's go to our featured. Do featured date. And take our card date. Put into a featured date. And then in our featured up here is change our card date to featured date, which should fix the size and shading of that date. So that looks good. So now we have our related posts based on the category, and it's only taking 3, but it looks like we can have space for 4. So let's change that right quick. Assuming that there is 4 in general, but we can come back to our individual post. And so I do want to clean up this component. I just really want all of my components to be neater in general. I don't like all of the props in mine like this, so we'll take that as a to-do item here in a minute. So instead of limit of 3, let's limit 4. So there's 4, and they're all unique, which is great. So we can come back to here. We still want to work on blog navigation. So we'll do that with previous and next. We want to render blog categories on cards, likely over the image. And then we want to clean up components. And so I have a feeling that I'll do that off of a live stream just so I can figure it out on my own. Because I should know TypeScript at this point. I feel like when I do this, I let you guys down because I don't know what I'm doing with it. But that's okay. We'll figure it out together, maybe? We'll see. I'm not exactly sure. So what we'll do before we end here is let's switch over to resend, just because that's going to be real easy to do. And I should already have an account set up. So you can't see what I'm doing on my screen because I don't want you to see my API key. All right, create new API key, so we can say this for our, yeah, fine. All right, copy this. All right, I'm going to take this screen away for a second so I can go into my environment variables. And then I'm going to do our resend API key. And I did do a video on this already, so if you are curious about how to set up resend or even SendGrid in your project, I have a video for that coming out soon. I think it's a week or 2. So look out for that one. So next I need to go to my payload config. And then we're going to come down to our email. And instead of doing node mailer adapter, we're going to do resend adapter, which is going to need to be installed and pnpm add PayloadCMS. I don't have to have this memorized. And then we'll do resend, or email resend. Email resend. And then we're going to import resend adapter from PayloadCMS. Email resend. And I know, just because I know with my knower that this is going to happen, first we can get rid of all of this. Do API key, then not what I need, but sure, resend API. I don't remember if that's actually what it is. Before I check it though, we can, it needs a empty string just in case. I wonder, I've just learned about type assertions and I'm wondering if they will fix a lot of what I want. All right, so I'm just gonna look real quick and make sure that this is the right environment variable. Does not look like it is. It is not. So let's close that. Resend API key. There we go. So now if I relaunch this, reload. And this is really just to make sure nothing broke. I don't actually need to test this email functionality. At least not right now. Okay. Oh, that's right. I knew this was going to happen. This is what I was saying I knew was going to happen. Whenever you install anything from Payload, it automatically takes in the newest version rather than the version that you're currently using. So I just need to change that to our 3.11, which is what I'm on, not 3.14. And I'll do a video on upgrading from there. I did one from 3.5 to 3.11, which came out today. But regardless of what version you're on, they all need to be the same. And now that I've been at this for almost 2 hours, I'm going to make sure that this works. And then I can get rid of that. And then after that, I will hop off. There we go. So that's working. We've got all of this good to go. So that's all of that. So next is we're gonna do a previous and next with like a forward arrow and a backward arrow. So like that and this. Let's do it the proper way. So yep, we'll do forward and back, and then we will then have categories show up on the card, likely over the image. We'll see how I feel about that because I do want to accept an array, and then we'll clean up our components, and I'll do some of that on the side. After that, we'll start working on our industry pages, and then we'll start working on schema. So I think this is a great place to stop because I'm kind of hungry, honestly, so I need to eat something. But I do want to take some time to just say that I appreciate you guys for watching. There were a couple people who dropped in, a couple people who asked questions. Hopefully I was able to answer them. And I was able to show off as well a little bit of outside information that was requested in comments throughout other videos. So if you liked this, though, let me know. Feel free, even if after this is live, to leave a comment. I do have the repo up. I'm going right now. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to commit it. So this is going to be, we'll say, 2025-01-05 stream. And so, oops, that's up and going now. So as soon as that is there, you can go to the repo that's in the description, to see all of what is changed. So all of that's done. We're all good to go. If you like this, go ahead and subscribe. I try to do 1 or 2 of these a week. So hopefully either Monday or Tuesday, I'll drop in and do another one of these. I drop a new tutorial on PayloadCMS every Tuesday, so be looking out for that, 8 a.m. Eastern time. So I look forward to doing this again, and I'll see you all on the next one.